This is a commentary, which is Empire Theatres, so let's go! Empire Theatres Limited was a movie theatre chain in Canada, a subsidiary of Empire Company Limited, the holding company of the Soapy family conglomerate. In June 2013, Empire announced it would exit the movie theatre business, selling the vast majority of locations to Cineplex, 24 in Atlantic Canada, and Landmark Cinemas, 23, in Ontario and Western Canada, including 2 locations originally slated to be purchased by Cineplex, and the downtown Ottawa Theatre. 5 other locations in operation at the time of the announcement were not included in either deal and were closed. 2 of the locations reopened again at a later date under different owners, and 2 other locations and 1 drive-in remain closed. Here is the history. Now, starting off with the formation. Empire Theatres was formed from the Soapy family's purchase of the Atlantic Canadian assets of Canadian Odeon Theatres in 1984 as part of that chain's merger into Cineplex Odeon Corporation, now Cineplex Entertainment. Later, it also acquired selected Famous Players Theatres locations, including those in Newfoundland and Labrador. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, Famous Players remained a major competitor in the Maritimes. Empire responded by opening several new or replacement locations along the lines of the multiplexes being opened by Cineplex and Famous Players in the rest of Canada. Despite an aggressive expansion in the Maritimes in the mid-1990s, Famous Players had focused on improvements elsewhere and did not match Empire's moves, one of which included an 18-screen, including 1 IMAX screen, multiplex in the Bayers Lake Business Park in suburban Halifax. With comparably minor interests in the region, Famous Players cut back on marketing and then sold its remaining screens in Atlantic Canada to Empire Theatres in 2004. And here's the expansion to Western Canada. On August 22, 2005, Empire announced it would acquire 27 theatres, with a total of 202 screens, in locations from British Columbia to Ontario, from Cineplex Galaxy LP, as a result of the latter's acquisition of Famous Players Theatres, effectively doubling Empire's size. Most of the locations were traditional venues, but some were larger theatres, such as Coliseum Calgary, Silver City Theatres in Kitchener and St. Catharines, Ontario, 1 in Calgary, Alberta, and Cineplex Odeon Square 1 in Mississauga. The deal closed September 30, 2005. In December 2009, the Empire Theatres chain had 48 screens equipped with digital projection and real 3D capabilities. In March 2012, Empire announced that it was the first national exhibitor in Canada to complete circuit-wide digital cinema conversion, with 359 screens converted, 40% of which had real 3D capability. On June 21, 2012, Empire announced the acquisition of 2 Ontario-based theatres from AMC Theatres, located in Ottawa, Ontario and Whitby, Ontario. Each theatre featured 24 screens, including an IMAX Experience auditorium. Empire had also announced plans to equip all screens in these locations with barcode digital technology, and some with real 3D technology, to provide moviegoers with a state-of-the-art movie presentation experience. Now, here is the sale to Cineplex and Landmark. On June 27, 2013, Empire Company Limited announced that it would be focusing on its retail and real estate operations, including Sobeys, which earlier in the month had agreed to purchase Safeway's Canadian operations. To that end, Empire Theatres wound down its operations and sold or closed all of its theatres. Cineplex Entertainment purchased 24 theatres for approximately 194 million Canadian dollars on October 10, 2013. It consisted of all Empire locations in Atlantic Canada. On October 22, 2013, Empire Theatres closed its Atlantic Canada locations after the evening shows. The Atlantic Canada Theatre's sale to Cineplex was completed on October 24, 2013. On October 24 or 25, 2013, the theaters reopened as Cineplex Cinemas. The deal was to include the 2 former AMC locations in Ottawa and Whitby, but they were later removed from the deal because of the Competition Bureau's concerns. In lieu of the Conneaut location, Cineplex later acquired the rights to Empire's planned 10-screen Lansdowne Park location in Ottawa. Landmark Cinemas purchased another 23 theatres in Ontario and Western Canada for 55 million Canadian dollars. This was a minority equity share in management control of the theatres, which was later financed by True West Capital Partners. The sale was completed on November 1, 2013. Empire's 2013 sale to Cineplex would not be the last significant connection between the two companies. Several years later, in 2022, Empire Company joined Cineplex and Scotiabank as a partner in the Scene Plus loyalty program. End of commentary.